Have you ever walked into a space and felt instantly calm or instantly overwhelmed? That's the power of your environment right there. So, thank you for clicking on this episode. I am Jules. I am your host of Happy For You with Jules. And this is yet another episode that you guys voted for. And it is going to be about designing your sanctuary and how your home impacts your well-being. I want you to ask yourself going into this episode, what does your home mean to you? Because this will kind of help with your tone for the rest of this episode. For some people, home is a feeling and they can get this feeling anywhere from a place or a person even, and it's just like this sense of comfort. Whereas other people might define home as this is your sanctuary and this is where you go to feel safe and relaxed. And so there really is no right or wrong answer, but I really just want you to be curious and just ask yourself this, just so you can start to get an idea going into this episode as to what exactly your goals are and what you really want out of this episode. So, in this episode, I am going to be telling you why your home environment matters for your mental and your physical well being. I'll tell you some really interesting statistics, and then I'm going to give you some simple ways to create a sanctuary that nurtures your mind and your body because it's really not that difficult. I don't want to overcomplicate this, but I think it's really important to know that, this is your home. You are here every single day, and you want to make sure that it's a space that is calming for your body and doesn't add to the anxiety that you already have about other things. So, I first just want to talk about why your environment is so important. So there is always a mind body connection. If you are someone that's been listening to me for a while, I always talk about mind body connection and how everything is pretty much related. It's crazy to think that our environment actually has an impact on our physical and mental health. And so if you have a very cluttered environment, that can make you more anxious. If you're more anxious, now our mind is influencing our body is tightening up, we are not experiencing good overall health. So, what can we do about this? So, I just want to reference some research first because I found this super interesting, and this will hopefully motivate you to try and get your home a little bit more homier. And maybe if you live in a cluttered environment, get you to start decluttering it. So, researchers found that being in an environment that's disorganized can make it harder for your brain to focus. I feel like this one is kind of like obvious in a way. Maybe I don't know, it's kind of obvious to me, but maybe not to you. I don't know. Just because, like, if I'm in my room and my room's a mess and I'm trying to do work, I can't focus. So, on top of you not being able to focus, a cluttered or disorganized environment can also cause increased stress levels, impaired concentration, like I said, triggering respiratory issues due to the dust accumulation, hindering productivity, and potentially contributing to poor eating habits and mood disorders. That is so interesting because listen to this statistic. Finally, okay, people with extremely cluttered homes are 77% more likely to be overweight, as compared to tidy homes have been found to be a predictor of physical health, where people who are in cleaner homes were more active and had better physical health in another study. So, this is so interesting to me because 77%, like that's really high. So hopefully that motivates you a little bit. Just thought that would be cool to talk about. But let's talk about how your environment reflects and influences your energy. So I think of it as, when you dress up or you put on makeup and you do your hair, you're just like more likely to be productive that day and get more work done and be in a better mood. It's the same thing with your environment. If you are in a clean environment with fresh air, it's cleaned up, there's space, you are then more productive and in a better mood. And it's just interesting how all of this relates. So I want you to ask yourself, like, what are your goals and your values for your home? So for each of you, this can be different. Do you want to be more productive in this environment or do you want to be more relaxed? And so based off that, this is how you can then decide how you want to build your sanctuary. So now I'm going to talk about the elements of a sanctuary and break this down for you into a calming and nurturing home. So let's start with light and airflow. So there is so much importance of natural light and fresh air. So a tip here is to open your windows daily. You can use sheer curtains and you could invest in soft, warm lighting. So I recently bought these LED light bulbs off Amazon. They're like $15 and it has a remote and you can change the colors on them. So when it's during the day, I have just the normal lights on and it's like a soft lighting for when I wake up because if it's just like bright and like it's just overbearing and it makes me anxious. And then there's different colors. So then at night, I put on the red light. So then that tells our bodies, okay, now it's okay to calm down. And the red light helps your body produce melanin. So then you start to feel more tired. So your lighting and your airflow is so important. If you're in a home that is all stingy and like it smells and you just haven't gotten any fresh air, it is so bad for your lungs. And just opening a window can go such a long way. Number two is decluttering and organization. Like I already said, with the how clutter can cause you to be anxious, depressed, whatnot. So I want you to start small. So maybe you don't live in like a hoarding situation. And if you do, I'm so sorry. But say you just like have like some clutter around. I don't want this to be overwhelming. It should be more actually something that you look forward to doing. So start small. Start with just like your bedside table and then organize that and then build from there. You also don't have to do all of it in one day. If you live in a home where you have like every single room that you need to declutter, that can feel overwhelming and you feel like you don't want to do it all. So start small. Or maybe you're young and you're in just a studio apartment and it's really small and you could just like do it all in one day. Like that's okay too. Just starting small and decluttering can go such a long way. Number three are colors and textures. Colors can impact your mood so much. So that's kind of what I was saying with the red light and then the soft light. If you are in an environment where there's like these big overhead lights shining and it's just overbearing and overwhelming, like it's not fun. I just feel like when I wake up in the morning, I need soft lighting. I need to ease myself into my day. I need to be having a slow morning lifestyle. And if there's like these big fucking lights on me, I'm going to be really anxious and I'm going to want to turn them off. But that's just me. That's just me. You might be completely different and you might like a lot of light in the morning. But what I'm saying here is pick some colors and textures that will make you feel more homey. So, like textures such as cozy blankets, rugs, pillows, all of these, and adding it to your home can make such a difference. And I think that it's really the small touches that will make your home feel like your sanctuary. And like I said, ask yourself, what is your goal here? Maybe you want your bedroom to be white because you feel that the light coming in through the window makes your room brighter if it's white, and the brightness of the room makes you feel happier. Or maybe you rather have a bedroom that's a lot more calming and you don't want as much light coming in. So maybe you do a nice beige or brown or something. All of this is so key on how you want to build your house. And then number four is nature and greenery. I love this one because I am so connected to nature. Like, I always need at some point in my day to be outside and just connect to the earth. And like, I know that sounds kind of weird, but just being outside can feel so relieving. And so bringing that into your home by like you can buy low maintenance plants like snake plants or like succulents are very low maintenance. You don't really have to do much to keep up with them. And adding some greenery here and there can just make it feel like so much more safe in a way and just really calm your anxiety. Like I have a lot of friends that just love their plants, they're plant moms. Maybe you're listening to this, you're a plant mom. It just makes you so happy. Like, I don't know, there's just something about having plants in your home where it's like it's something that's alive and it's just so fresh and vibrant and beautiful, and colorful flowers can just really boost your mood and make you happier. And I mean, you could just view it as like, yeah, they're just plants, but like if you think of it on a deeper level, it's really impacting your mood and how you feel on a daily basis because you're waking up every day to something that just puts color into your life and just vibrant energy. And if you are given that vibrant energy from your external environment, you are going to feel vibrant. And when you feel vibrant, you are then attracting everything into your life that is also vibrant. So, and then number five, meaningful decor. So, like, incorporate personal touches. So, like, family photos or art that like bring joy. For me, it's hanging a quote that touches me and inspires me daily. So if I, it doesn't have to be hung up, it could be anywhere you want it to be, but something that just is meaningful to you. And that when you read this, it just resets you and it just makes you feel good again. So having that can also make your environment a lot more peaceful. So now that you know what a sanctuary can be like and what it looks like, I want to give you some practical steps to how you can actually now put action and transform your space into this sanctuary and bring it to life. So, in order to build a sanctuary, you cannot just add to the chaos and start just like keep adding clutter. You have to declutter first. So an example of this is like if your room's a mess, you don't want to just buy this plant that you think is so beautiful and vibrant and then put that in there. You're just adding to the clutter. And yes, the plant's beautiful, but the environment's not. Okay, like sorry. So, your number one step here is to declutter one area at a time. Like I said, you don't have to do it all at once, but start with one room that's a priority for you. What room are you in the most of? Are you in your bedroom the most? Are you in the kitchen the most? Where do you spend most of your time? Start there and declutter there. This could even just be maybe the area is already clean, but it just feels like you need to spice it up a little bit. You can move furniture around and move different lights around and just move everything. It is the best feeling in the world, feeling fresh and clean and new. So if you don't know where to start, that's where you start. Where do you spend most of your time? Now, after you declutter that area, now I want you to identify what feels stressful or chaotic. And I now want you to brainstorm small changes. So, like I said, okay, now the space is clean, but there's something about it that's just not hitting right, you know? So now you got to stand there and just take it all in. And you're like, brainstorming and you're like, what can I do to spice this up a little bit? Maybe I could put a table here. Maybe I could put a plant here. I wonder how this would look, this color, this texture. There's so much. Okay, it's fun. And if it's not fun, I'm sorry. You could romanticize it. You can put music on. You could write it down, whatever. So now you're going to brainstorm, okay? Then step three is you're going to start incorporating and introducing the calming elements. So now you like brainstormed, you started moving things around, it's all clean. Now let's incorporate some calming elements. You can add aromatherapy, some soft lighting, your favorite playlist. These are all tiny little touches that go such a long way. And having that lavender scent or eucalyptus or a candle that smells like vanilla, it just calms your nervous system. So incorporating that can make such a difference. And then step four is to start incorporating a self-care space, such as a little corner for maybe journaling or meditating, something in your home, whether that's in your bedroom or your living room. Make a corner or just make one area something that is for you where you can go to this spot and you know that when you're in this spot, this is just for you and this is only for you. This is not a spot for stress. This is not a spot for doing work or researching. This is simply just a spot for me and my body. And this could be a spot you're reading a book, you're meditating, you're maybe listening to a podcast, anything that does not add to your anxiety. Because you can't have an environment where you're stressed out and then relaxed at the same time. This is specifically important for people that work from home. So I don't work from home and I truly don't know how you guys do it because I feel like I can't have a work environment and then a relaxing environment in one, but that's just me and like everyone's different. So no need to take things personally. But what I'm saying here is if you do work from home, maybe you can add an area that's just for work and then another area that's just for when you're relaxing and when you're decompressing because it's hard for our brains to decipher the difference between the two. If you're in an area, say you go to, I don't know, the couch is where you do your work and the couch is also where you meditate. Your brain might think to itself as soon as you sit on the couch, it might immediately snap into like a fight or flight mode of like, oh my God, I need to be doing work because it's associating this area with stress as opposed to completely separating the two and then making two separate areas. So I feel like I talked a lot about that, but okay, moving on. Step five. So now I want you to commit to a refresh routine to keep your sanctuary feeling calm. So it's easy to declutter, but it's harder to maintain that declutter. So naturally, life gets in the way. We get busy, we get lazy, we throw a coat over here, we put our shoes over here, and then a week from now, everything's cluttered again. But try to promise yourself, maybe it's every Sunday, maybe it's every Friday, whatever you want it to be. And on this day, you commit to a refresh routine where you completely declutter again and you reset basically. This helps reset your mind, your body, your nervous system. This is so key for if you had a really stressful week and you feel like you really need to start fresh that upcoming week. Committing to this, refreshing, putting everything away, maybe getting a new candle, like something that makes you look forward to this area. So now you have a whole routine, you have a whole sanctuary, and now it is your home. So here's the benefits of your sanctuary. So now that you build this peaceful home will impact your mental clarity, your sleep, and even your relationships. And so I want to give you a personal example with this is I still live at home and my bedroom is unfortunately blue. And do I want it to be blue? No, but I have made in within there my own little sanctuary to make it feel like home. So before, years ago, when I was like in college and my bedroom was still like childhood bedroom, it was like baby pictures everywhere, beach pictures. Like it was just like your trophies. Like, yes, that's all great, but did it feel like homey to me when I came home from college? No. So what I did was I did that whole thing basically. I decluttered, I moved everything around, I threw stuff out, I added in candles, whatever. And I now feel like, okay, yes, it's blue, which it's fine. I'm gonna be moving out soon, but I now feel so calm when I go into this room because, like we said, this is an environment. And so when you're in this environment, you're either gonna feel calm or you're gonna feel stressed. And so when I come into my bedroom every day now, I view it as my little sanctuary. And my body knows that when I enter this room, this is a room for peace and this is a room for relaxation and decompression. This is not a room for stress. Like, yes, I'll work on the podcast in my room and do some research, but like, I'm not doing like hardcore stuff. I don't know, like adulting, like stressful type of tasks in there. So, I just am giving you an example of how this really impacts how you feel on a daily basis and your mood. And if you feel like you've just kind of like been in a funk recently and you just don't know what it could be, you're like, oh, my relationships are great, my job is great, my finances are fine, but like for some reason, I'm just feeling like kind of on edge and just like not really myself. Starting with your environment is a great place to start because once you refresh it, your mind and your body will also feel refreshed. So, I just want to give a little recap here now that we're reaching the end. My key points here with this episode is the importance of your lighting, decluttering, and then your personal touches. It's really that simple. Your external environment reflects your internal state in both ways, meaning if you feel depressed, your environment may look depressed, aka cluttered. Vice versa, if your place is cluttered, it may add to your depression. So if you're depressed, your environment looks depressed. If your environment looks depressed, you feel depressed. So, what I'm saying here is just declutter, build a little sanctuary, take it one step at a time. And the last quote I want to say here is that your home is your sanctuary. It should feel like the safest, most calmest place in your world. It should not be a place for stress and anxiety, and it should be a place for decompression. I would love to hear and see what you guys are doing for your sanctuary. So feel free to message me on Instagram, send me some pictures of your apartment or what you did to your sanctuary and how you made it feel like home. I would love to see what you did. And if you found this episode very helpful, please share it with others or tag me on Instagram at Happy For You with Jules. And always feel free to reach out to me and ask for any other upcoming topics. So, thank you for listening, and I wish you a great week. Bye.